A genuine greetings to one and all present. Last day was fabulous. To connect, I have written few words. From GST to securing legacies. From Kanyakumari to Kashmir. From politics to UNO. From earth to moon. From stress to laughter. We regret but are duty bound to bring you back to GST like a boomerang.
Foremost praises to everyone present who chose to upgrade their expertise with forums like Arohan. Gathering of intellectual reminds me significance of white-collared gathering in the era of virtual well-being. We applaud your relentless pursuit for excellence in becoming trusted advisors. Standing before you are CA Riya Jeevatramani
And Radhika Khatod
as session MCs on behalf of Akola branch.
after comprehensive session on how to handle GST litigations by CA Sunil Kabawala sir from Mumbai. We are keen to onboard you for a further deeper dive. To nurture the momentum, our topic, recent judgments under GST law, shall surely act as a catalyst to help you settle ongoing GST litigations.
A guiding star in the fine art of articulating GST law, our session speaker stands afar. An icon for curious minds for the insights he shares with pragmatic delivery and thought-provoking ideas. To help us roll better, we are privileged to have Dr. Advocate CA IP Avinashji Poddar sir, a multifaceted financial luminary, as our session speaker.
I desire to request CA Pankaj Lagnia sir, Vice Chairman, Akola branch, and CA PC Bhandari sir, past Chairman, Akola branch, to kindly escort our esteemed speaker and grace the podium together. I earnestly appeal all the members to offer echo of applause to offer best of our cordial welcome. So request you to please occupy your seat. To sparkle the moment, it's our honor to invite our podium gorgeous Regional Council Member CA Shweta Jain ma'am. Request CA Anupama Ji Latta, Vice Chairperson Amravati branch, to accompany our guest and grace the session with duet presence. CA Govind Ji Pidwai, Nanded branch chairman, to kindly escort Regional Council Member Rudyesh Pankhania sir to the dais and occupy a seat with duet presence.
As a token of gratitude, I request CA Damodarji Sada sir from Chandrapur to present a lovely bouquet to welcome our adept speaker, Poddar sir. I also request Seema ma'am to florally welcome our Regional Council member, CA Shweta Jain. Furthermore, I request CA Sunil Agrawal sir to florally welcome our Regional Council member, CA Rudyesh Pankhania sir.
dignitaries on the desk, we are pleased and delighted to have your presence by spending your valuable time. Thank you. To forge ahead, allow me to invite Shweta ma'am, immediate past secretary of WIRC, to share her opening remarks to officially begin.
Of the dais and all the participants present here, a very good morning to all of you. At the outset, let me congratulate to both branch chairperson for hosting this successful and especially their first ever sub-regional conference at Shegaon. Congratulations to both of you. Friends, GST is the area which is ever changing and dynamic. And if we are practicing chartered accountant and then if we are practicing in GST, we have to be updated. And recent changes is one of them. Who else can be other than Avinash Poddar sir to speak on this subject? Sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitations and sparing your time and knowledge with all of us. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Now, would like to touch upon some other areas where we need to be updated in this ever-growing profession. To start with, first is technology. How technology impacting the way we do audit from manual to digital and now with AI. So keeping this in mind, at WIRC under the DAP committee, Digital Accounting Assurance Board, we have started tech series, a lot of other programs related to technology, but more importantly technology series where latest technologies like ChatGPT, Power BI, Python, Tableau, and how this technology can help us in our day-to-day practice life. We have started this series and I am privileged to chair this committee at WIRC. Next, if I talk, then BRSR reporting, social audit, ESG is another area of practice because where we chartered accountant can grow our practice in a different way by analyzing the green balance sheet and more importantly the 3 Ps changing right from planet to people and then profit. And our chairman WIRC CA Arpit Kabra gave me this opportunity this year to chair another important committee for sustainability. And I'm really thank you so much. And we have conducted a lot of webinar and on role of ESG, chartered accountant in ESG and BRSR reporting. Our another growing area is a capital market. India has entered into its Amrit Kaal, and in this Amrit Kaal, capital market is going to play a very, very important role. We at WIRC, how we can forget this important area again. So we are planning to conduct a national conference on capital market in the month of October 27th and 28th, where our major focus will be the changing landscape in capital market. My request to all of you, if you can take out some time from your schedule, please come and attend this conference where you will, I'm sure definitely you will find it worth because all the stalwarts in the capital market will be there. Last but not least, we all need to be ethical practitioners. So we have to be very vigilant while performing our duty. So I would end my words here with this. Thank you so much and over to you.
Hello. Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure to have you here. It's aptly said, a man is known by the company he keeps. Vis-a-vis, a professional is best known by the laurel he achieves. Avinash Poddar is based from Ahmedabad, Surat and Delhi with branches and associates all over India. He completed chartered accountancy with a rank, practiced for 17 years of his career as a CA. Currently, he is practicing as an advocate from last 6 years in the field of indirect taxes, commercial laws, cybercrime. He regularly appears before Honorable Supreme Court, High Court, special courts and tribunals. His stock of academic records and achievements as described in a short while in PPT behind reflects a seamless blend of financial acumen and legal expertise. As a prolific writer and content creator, we salute your unwavering commitment towards knowledge dissemination in the complex world of finance and laws. To stir the souls and ignite the mind, I request a huge round of applause as I immediately hand over the charge to our speaker, Avinash Ji Poddar sir.
Are you getting the point? Whereas, when it becomes to the appellate order becomes binding. It has a precedential value to the subordinate officers. When a commissioner appeal gives an order, the entire jurisdiction of that commissioner becomes binding. When the tribunal gives, the entire jurisdiction of that tribunal, which means the state. Then if the High Court gives, because till tribunal only the question of fact travels along with question of law, but from High Court and Supreme Court level, it is only the question of law which will travel. Question of fact cannot be decided by High Court. It cannot be decided by Supreme Court. It has to be question of law, and that too a substantial question of law. If a question of law has already been decided by a court, then it nowhere can be said to be, or in none of the circumstances can be said to be a substantial question of law. So now important is how to derive the precedential value. अगर आपको कोई appellate order दिखता है, High Court का, Supreme Court का, it has a precedential value. So please refer the case which you are reading and please try to understand whether it is filed under Article 226 of the Constitution of India or under the statutory right of appeal which has been given to you in the statute. अगर statutory right में आपने किया, High Court में appeal file किया जिसका order है, then the entire jurisdiction is bound with that. Until Supreme Court either dismisses or upholds that order. Am I clear? So therefore, whatever laws, whatever orders that we are reading as on date, which we say recent judgment on GST, are writ orders. It may not have the binding. I am not saying it will never have. It may not have the binding effect, and therefore you can very well argue, you can very well say that whatever has been adjudicated by the Honorable Court is per incurium to this level. When I say per incurium, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि कुछ चीजें आपने टच नहीं की जो pertinent थी. Let us go back and try to understand 16 subsection 4 provision. आप सब इधर आ गए अभी मेरे साथ? आप जब रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं, whenever you have filed a return, there are errors which can or which would have been committed. Correct? Errors हुआ होगा आपका. One of the most pertinent errors that we have committed is we have not availed the ITC within a time limit because of any reason, and we have filed a return. Let's say for March 2019, we have filed in December 2019. Let us take this example. So now the law says, 16 subsection 4 says that if you miss a credit, and what you miss, it is not availing the credit, it is taking the credit, which is written in law. 16 subsection 4 आप पढ़ोगे, it says taking that credit. Taking that credit. So if you miss to take a credit till September 2019 due date, that is 20th October 2019, you have availed in December 2019 return, the credit is not eligible to you, it lapses. That is the provision. Now give me, anyone can answer, what does the word taking means? Taking in books of accounts or taking in return?
Return.
Yes? Books of accounts. So you have already availed in books of accounts that 30th September तक तो audit हो गया आपका. Or if you are filing a return without being audited, then 31st July is the date if I am not wrong. You have already filed it. That means you have already availed, taken in the books of accounts. And if the credit is taken in books of accounts, then filing of return is merely a procedure lapse. And for a procedure lapse, a substantive right cannot be taken away. Am I clear to this? और मैं ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रहा हूँ सर. It has been adjudicated by the Honorable Supreme Court in Bharti Airtel Limited. Bharti Airtel Limited, there is a para which is added because the first jurisprudence of GST was my order. That was double APN company. GST at 3B is not a return. First jurisprudence which was led. उसके बाद उन्होंने Rule 59 को change किया, retrospectively amend किया, and then they have said that 3B is a return. So I have also contributed. Contributed in a way that I have taught the government that what you have written is wrong. And similarly, please do not be afraid by the order of Andhra Pradesh High Court. आंध्र प्रदेश हाई कोर्ट का अगर आप प्लाईवुड्स का ऑर्डर पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें ये आर्गुमेंट है ही नहीं. They have nowhere included this argument. They have not included this argument कि भारतीय एयरटेल ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट has already said in the context of GST only, it is not service tax or excise, it is GST, wherein they have said that prime importance is not of GSTR 2A, prime importance is of books of accounts. Your primary document is your books of accounts, and if you have taken a credit in your books of accounts, where is the question? Where is the question of lapsing that credit merely because you have not followed a procedure of filing a return? You will lose that credit. I don't think so. So we still have high hopes that that order is per inferium, and it's only one state which has passed an order. There are remaining states wherein this particular issue has been accepted, admitted. Even in Gujarat High Court it is admitted. I am arguing before Gujarat High Court, Bombay High Court, Allahabad High Court, Delhi High Court, everywhere it is admitted. Now we are pushing hard because in light of that judgment of the Honorable Andhra Pradesh High Court, now the department is starting recovery, started passing orders. इसलिए अभी हम लोग फोर्स कर रहे हैं हाई कोर्ट को कि आप प्लीज सुने इसको until it goes to the Supreme Court and gets stayed. So am I clear to this? 16(4) तक घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है. Because of the paucity of time, I'll try to cover some more points so that I'll be short in discussing the important aspects of that particular order. But what is left out, I have tried to cover that. If you have recorded in books of accounts, your books of accounts are audited, that is sufficient that you have taken that credit within the time limit. Am I clear? दूसरा, there is another argument which is not there. The argument is section 39 does not restrict you to file a return with outstanding payment liabilities. I am again repeating. Section 39 of the CGST Act, which deals with return under GST, nowhere restricts you that you cannot upload a return with outstanding liability. तो सर इसके लिए अब आप एक मिनट मेरे साथ रहने की समझ और कोशिश करिए, समझिए. हम जब GST लॉ पढ़ते हैं ना सर, वी आर रीडिंग मल्टीपल लॉज. एक हम पढ़ते हैं जो स्टैट्यूट है, CGST एक्ट, SGST एक्ट. दूसरा हम पढ़ते हैं जो डेलीगेटेड लेजिस्लेचर है, सबऑर्डिनेट लेजिस्लेचर विच इज रूल्स. देन वी रीड नोटिफिकेशंस, देन वी रीड सर्कुलर्स, देन वी रीड ट्रेड नोटिसेस और इंस्ट्रक्शंस. देन देयर आफ्टर जो यहाँ पे काफी लोग कर रहे थे, वी स्टार्ट रीडिंग ट्विटर, राइट, व्हाट्सएप पे comments. A person who has never dealt with GST litigation, he will comment. An order has been passed under section 16 subsection 4, तो अभी तो आप liability आपकी हो गई, अभी आप पेमेंट करना चालू कर. एंड सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट लॉ GST में इस GSTN. GSTN का अपना खुद का कानून है सर, वो GST लॉ को फॉलो नहीं करता. It doesn't follow what is written in CGST Act. The CGST Act says that you can upload your return with the outstanding liability. It is also recorded in the minutes of the meeting of GST Council. But GSTN बाबा अलाउ नहीं करते आपको. That is the problem. That is the problem, and it has to be argued. Sir, एक simple सा situation आप समझे. Because of any reason, because of downward trend in the business, because of the losses, because of any reason, I had a liability of let's say 1.5 crores. I was having a credit of 1 crore rupees. 50 lakhs मेरे पास नहीं था. I was not having 50 lakhs. मेरे पास 50 lakhs arranged हुआ December 2019 में in my example. How to file a return? I cannot file the return before 30th September or 20th of October because there was no money with me to be paid in cash. So I was having two options. या तो मैं झूठ बोलता, I would have shown the liability as 1 crore rupees only. तो जो मेरे रिसिपिएंट्स हैं उनको क्रेडिट नहीं मिलता, दे वुड हैव अगेंस्ट मी, बिजनेस इंपैक्ट होता, और आई वुड हैव अरेंज दिस मनी, सो आई हैव अरेंज नाउ इन डिसंबर एंड आई एम फाइलिंग इट. और थर्ड ऑप्शन विच इज देयर इन द लॉ, सो देयरफॉर दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. 16(4) को जब आप आर्ग्यू करेंगे, रिप्लाई करेंगे, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देयर मे अराइज अ सिचुएशन वेयर यू आर रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ कैश एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट यू हैव नॉट फाइल्ड द रिटर्न. उस सिचुएशन में सेक्शन 39 cannot be overridden by GSTN. Please, I am giving you another reference, which is section 75 subsection 12. Section 75 subsection 12 says, and its explanation says, that when there is any liability which is declared in your return. Now please be with me and try to understand this very important concept, and this you can very well argue while replying back in 16(4). Whenever there is an outstanding liability declared in a return, there is no requirement of any show cause notice to be issued. It can be directly recovered under section 79 of the act. That provision will become redundant, sir. That provision itself will become redundant. उसका कोई जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आपको outstanding liability के बिना अपलोड नहीं करने दे रहा है GSTN, that means that provision itself become redundant. So you can take cognizance of this particular provision also. Am I clear? चलिए 16(4) में I was just thinking to share this. Now another example in 16 subsection 4 जहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट का इशू आ रहा है, that is RCM payments. When there is a liability, let's say during the course of a search or during the course of an audit under section 65 of the act or 66 of the act, they say that you are having a liability of RCM which you have not discharged, let's say in 2017, 18, 18, 19. You have to discharge this liability today, because RCM is a liability which is encasted in, which is entrusted on a recipient. So therefore you will have to pay that liability, you cannot run away. क्वेश्चन ये राइज होता है 17, 18, 18, 19 का अगर आज मैं भरता हूं तो क्या मुझे क्रेडिट मिलेगा, या 16 सबसेक्शन 4 विल कम इन माय वे. करेक्ट? ऐसा इशू है? ओके. नहीं है तो भी बोलिए है. सी, पार्टिसिपेशन डजंट मीन you agree to what I am saying. It means you participate. If it is no, you say no. So I'll move on. Anyways, this issue is not there, it is going to come. It is 100% going to come, क्योंकि आपने मेरे जैसे किसी एडवोकेट को पेमेंट किया होगा, आरसीएम उसका जमा नहीं किया होगा. So I am fighting, I am arguing a case before Jaipur, the Rajasthan High Court, which is exactly on the same issue. कॉटन जिनिंग मिल था उनका हरियाणा में, राजस्थान में, sorry. And they have not discharged liability on that, RCM liability on that. The name is Abhishek Industries. Wherein what we have done for 2017, 18, 18, 19 liabilities of RCM, we have discharged that liability in 2022. We have shown that liability in GSTR 3B and availed the credit of that. Getting the point? 2017, 18, 18, 19 का liability अभी हमने 2022 में भरा, September 2022 के रिटर्न में, and we have availed the credit. Now we received a show cause notice saying that this credit cannot be availed. Plus, you cannot pay through GSTR 3B. Now, please mark my words. This is very important to understand. If you receive a show cause notice under section 74 for RCM payments, I am repeating. If you receive a show cause notice under section 74 for payment of RCMs, first and foremost, you will have to argue that 74 cannot be invoked. The moment you fail to argue that 74 cannot be invoked, you will lose the battle. Because 74 में जैसे ही ऑर्डर पास होगा, सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 5 will restrict that credit. You will lose that credit forever. Am I clear? 74 में कोई भी RCM के disputes में you will have to argue that this cannot be, because something which is recorded in books, you have already recorded that properly. From those recordings he has identified during the course of audit or search. It doesn't mean there is any suppression. Merely an interpretational issue that as per them it was RCM liability, as per us it was forward charge. So therefore 74 show cause notices to be argued that it has to be 73. The moment the order comes under section 73, you are eligible for input tax credit. You are eligible for input tax credit irrespective of the fact whether you avail this in GSTR 3B or you avail this while paying through GSTR 3, DRC 03. आप दोनों में से किसी में भी पेमेंट कर सकते हो, that is not an issue. But I am naming a case which is Abhishek Industries, Rajasthan High Court, wherein the court has allowed the credit through 3B. We have paid RCM through 3B and availed the credit through 3B for 17-18 and 18-19. Right? 16-4 will not come into your way, because 16-4 comes into a way where the invoice date is there. In RCM, you are supposed to generate the invoice on your own, which is a self invoice. So आप आज की डेट में इनवॉइस बनाइए, आपका 110% आपका liability of interest will be there because of the time of supply provision under section 12 and 13 of the act, but you will be eligible for getting the credit. Am I clear? चलिए. Please sir.
I have filed a return of March late and time limit of 60 crore was exceeded, and only credit available in that return was of RCM, which I paid obviously late while filing the return. So department is saying that if you are claiming it in 3B, you are invoicing it in current year, then it's okay. If you have prepared the invoice in March and you have claimed the credit late or filed the return late rather, then that credit will not be accepted.
Then the argument would be that under RCM 16-4 doesn't apply.
That argument I took, but still
You will have to take that argument, you will have to keep on fighting, because department को कहाँ समझ में आता है ये सब? Still we are learning. Where is the question of department? When department reads an order black and white, उसके बाद भी वो follow नहीं करते, उनको समझ में नहीं आता है, तो how you can expect them? You keep on fighting, you are certainly going to win, because there it's very clear. Sir, please try to understand. 96 rule 9610 issues are there, wherein I have imported under advance authorization without payment of IGST, and now because of the Cosmo Film order of the Supreme Court, I am paying IGST. So I can amend my shipping bill and take the credit today. So under RCM liabilities, as per me, 16-4 doesn't apply. Now, before going into the next case, sir, आवाज नहीं आ रहा. If somebody can help me. जो सुबह जिम नहीं करके आए, दौड़ के नहीं आए, वो थोड़ा माइक का है.
Sir, what will happen about the interest liability on RCM?
Interest liability will be there.
It will be get lapsed even if paid in 3B.
No, interest liability will be there because interest liability is getting attracted because of time of supply. Section 12. There is a provision under section 12 which says that under RCM, when you are supposed to generate an invoice, when your liability arises, so interest will be there.
Okay.
Now, there is one situation wherein the forward charge liability has already been discharged. For example, in my case, in spite of me paying under RCM, my supplier has already paid the tax. So there is no loss to the exchequer. Got the point?
Okay.
In that case, you can fight for interest also. Because interest is compensatory, merely because it changes the hands. Supplier has paid and the recipient has not discharged his liability. You cannot pose interest on that because there is no loss to you. Am I clear?
Yes.
So interest वहीं बचा सकते हो, otherwise interest रहेगा.
Okay.
Sir, can you throw light on ITC with respect to retrospective cancellation of the dealer?
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
I'll come to that.
Thank you.
I'm very short of time and there are a lot of things which I can share, but anyways, given the opportunity, next time I'll do that. Today actually I will have to rush back
Yes, sir.
of
Sir,
some liability. Yes.
one question about very nice interpretation and nice insights that you have given few minutes ago about chief not being in line with whatever the law says. So my first question is whether the GST network will come under the purview of RTI.
Which act?
RTI, Right to Information.
110%.
Okay, so we can ask them why you are not following this
Yes,
act
sir.
and
Yes.
you are ask for written
We have,
information.
sir, we have already asked this question before the courts and they will have to answer now. Don't worry.
Thank you.
It's pending before the court.
Thank you, sir.
Anyways, let me move ahead. Otherwise, कुछ बहुत important चीजें हैं जो मैं share करना चाहता हूँ, that I will miss. Now there is a recent amendment by way of a rule. पहले क्या करते थे ये just on a lighter note, the government was making the rule earlier and then they were incorporating the provision in the act or the statute. Now they have learned it. So they bring down a section and then they impose a rule, which is the right way of doing it. So recently on 4th August, 38 by 2023 is a notification wherein they have now inserted a rule which is Rule 88 capital D. It's a damaging rule. It's a damaging rule and it's a draconian rule, I would say. अगर लोगों ने नहीं पढ़ा है, go back and read it. Not important any session unless you read that. I'll try to address what it says. इसके पहले एक और आया था 26 December 2022 में. That was Rule 88 Sub Rule C or Capital C. Sorry. Now it is Rule 88 Capital D. Please try to be with me for 2 minutes. मैं आपसे 2-2 मिनट चुराता रहूंगा सर और मेरा सेशन कंप्लीट करूंगा. 88D क्या बोलता है? 88D बोलता है, अभी पहले GSTR 2 हुआ करता था. Department was issuing notices left, right and center to everyone that there is a difference between 3B and 2A and blah blah blah, and they were issuing the notices. Abhi department has withdrawn it. Department has withdrawn that stand, and now they are saying that GSTR 2B is the only form that has to be relied, and therefore Rule 88 capital D says that if there is a difference between GSTR, sir आप परेशान हो जाके बंद कर दो इसको. हाँ हाँ. GSTR 2B and GSTR 3B, if there is any difference, meaning thereby you have claimed a credit in GSTR 3B, let's say 1 crore rupees, and in GSTR 2B it is reflected as 80 lakh rupees. So there is a difference of 20 lakhs. Now understand the impact of this rule. They say that automatically a form will be generated in the form of a notice identifying the difference of this 20 lakh rupees, and that notice will be issued, if I am not wrong, in DRC 01 capital C. उस फॉर्म में वो नोटिस निकलेगा इन पार्ट ए, एंड विद इन 7 days of the issuance of that notice you have 2 options to comply. 1, either you pay that 20 lakh rupees. 2, I will not take that risk. Okay, if it is sure, then yes. 2, you give the reasons why that difference of 20 lakhs is there. To best of my understanding, whatever reason you will give, they are not going to believe on those reasons. To the best of my abilities and my experience of last 24 years of my practice, मैंने नहीं देखा कि आपकी कोई भी रिप्लाई आपने सबमिट की हो एंड आपने जो अपना ऑब्लिगेशन है, जो डिपार्टमेंट का बंदा एक्सपेक्ट करता है, वो ऑब्लिगेशन पूरा नहीं किया हो तो आपका कोई बात माना जाएगा. आई हैव नेवर सीन दैट. हाँ, अभी कुछ हो गया है, जैसे मैं जाता हूँ तो वो दे देते हैं कि यार अविनाश साहब बिना मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएगा, हाई कोर्ट जाएगा, तो बेटर है कि दे देते हैं. बट जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर, वी प्रैक्टिस एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, नोबडी इज गिविंग एनी रिलीफ टू अस, एंड देयरफॉर दिस इज अ ड्रैकोनियन प्रोविजन बिकॉज इट सेज दैट the moment the officer is not satisfied with the reply that you have submitted in part B explaining the reasons of the difference, he is free to issue a notice under section 73 or 74 of the act. Meaning thereby section 74 जिसमें 4.5 साल में नोटिस आना था, 4.5 years, section 73 जिसमें 3 years 9 months में शोकाज, 2 years 9 months में शोकाज नोटिस आना था, अब it will come every month to you. Every month the showcase notice will be thrown on you if there is any difference between 2B and 3B. Just imagine the kind of pressure you are going to handle now. कोई भी difference होगा, so that means indirectly the government is forcing on you that please take only that credit which is being reflected in GSTR 2B. Don't take any credit beyond that. If you avail any credit which is the genuine credit which needs to be availed or which should be availed, if you have taken that, explain the difference. If the difference is not satisfactory, then they will issue a show cause notice to you. Meaning thereby it is very very draconian for all of us because they will issue under 74, and that will create lot of hassles to us. So 2-3 important aspects to be understood. 1, sir, there are a lot of cases wherein the department has uploaded a show cause notice. Nobody has responded because they were not aware. They have uploaded the order also, nobody was aware. Then they have given a call for recovery. Then I came to know that there is an order also, show cause notice, everything is there, which nobody has attended. So meaning thereby the important point is serving is important or issuance is important. आप इनकम टैक्स में तो हमेशा सर्विंग की बात पढ़ते हैं ना, that the date on which it is communicated or served, from that day the limitation will begin. So serving is important or communication is involved. So rule 88 capital D or capital C में they have also written that along with uploading this form in part A, also it will be sent on mail which is given, email ID. Please refer section 169 of the Act. Section 169 of the Act deals with how to serve or how to send the notices and the orders. And it has a chronology which is mentioned there. Obviously, it is any of the modes. It says आपको पहले in person देना चाहिए. Then it says registered post से देना चाहिए. Then it says given email ID पे देना चाहिए. Then it says common portal पे upload करना चाहिए. So they have given all those options to you. Very recently, हमारा Bombay High Court judgment is there, wherein it has been said in case of cancellation of registration, it has been said that mere uploading an order of cancellation is not sufficient. You will have to make sure that the order is served by registered post and email. Honorable Bombay High Court. Then there is a judgment of Agrawal Dyeing and Printing, Gujarat High Court, wherein it has been said in para 18 of that order that whenever you issue an order of cancellation or any order pertaining to registration, that needs to be served through registered post. So all those cases wherein the orders has been uploaded and you have lost on the limitation, you can very well contact the department asking them that please show us the date on which it was served to us. If it is not served for the proper or in the proper way, then in that case you can very well litigate this. Unfortunately, there is a judgment of Patna High Court very recently. Patna High Court says that if a person misses on the limitation, I am repeating, if a person misses on the limitation, then he cannot file a writ petition. Writ petition is not maintainable. Sir, मैंने पहले ही बताया ये जो भी ऑर्डर्स हैं ये सब रिट ऑर्डर्स हैं. इट इज रेफरेबल बट इट इज नॉट बाइंडिंग. बट देयर इज अ जजमेंट ऑफ ग्लैक्सो इंडिया ऑफ द ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेयर इट इज सेड दैट, और उसके पहले का एक और जजमेंट है व्हिच वी नोट डाउन, दैट इज वर्लपूल. बोथ दिस जजमेंट सेड दैट यस, if there is an alternate remedy, if there is an alternate remedy, meaning thereby a statutory provision comprises of the right to appeal, then in that case you cannot approach the writ court. आप writ में नहीं आ सकते हो. But there are exceptions which says if it is without jurisdiction, if you are challenging a virus of a provision, if the order is passed not following the principles of natural justice, then in all these cases you can directly approach the writ court for getting the order quashed. So Glaxo India is an important judgment, sir. उसमें ये बोला है कि let's say for filing an appeal you have a time limit of 3 months. If you approach the court in 6th month, that means that after lapsing of the time you might have came across that order और अभी आपके पास कोई option बचा नहीं, because once the time lapses you cannot file an appeal. तो इसलिए अब आप writ court में आ गए. That is not maintainable. But if within this 3 months period, if you file a writ court before the writ court, then that is maintainable, because you can very well challenge that it was without jurisdiction. You can very well challenge some other context of that law or that the order. तो 3 महीने के अंदर, यानी within the period of limitation to file an appeal, if a writ is filed, it is maintainable. But if it is filed beyond the period of limitation, then it is sub judice. Issue is sub judice. Major of the courts have taken a view that it cannot be accepted, it cannot be maintainable. Note down a judgment. It's a judgment which has been pronounced by Honorable Gujarat High Court, and again I am lucky that I have argued that. It is Manjeet Cotton. In Manjeet Cotton, I have missed on the timelines. The court has allowed me to file a appeal even after lapsing of the time. But कब होता है सर, वो समझ लीजिए आप. केवल मंजीत कॉटन फॉलो करने से नहीं होगा. Wherever both the arguing, that is the petitioner, and the respondent counsel agrees to the fact that in spite of going into the merits, the court may relegate me back to the appellate authority and he should not raise the query of limitation, then in that case it is acceptable. Meaning thereby आपके respondent counsel अगर object करेंगे तो maintainable नहीं होगा. So it is type of a settlement wherein in spite of going into the merits, you can very well tell to the respondent or request to the court that the respondent counsel is not arguing, is not against this, and therefore you can be relegated to the appellate authority. Now comes another very important case law, again recently decided by the Honorable Supreme Court. Shabu George. Anybody has read this judgment? अभी मुझे पता चला कि वो सर्च करते हैं, आपके घर पे भी चले जाते हैं, आपके गोडाउन्स पे चले जाते हैं, वहाँ पे कैश पड़ा होता है, वो कैश लेके चले जाते हैं. The question is, can a cash be seized under GST search provision? When there is an initiation of a search under section 67 subsection 2 of the Act, and the officer is finding any cash lying in the premises which is registered or unregistered, can that search be seized? I am repeating, I am saying both. Whether the premise is registered or unregistered, can a cash be seized from any of those premises? There was a judgment of Madhya Pradesh High Court in Kanishka Mata in 2021, if I am not wrong. That judgment says that cash will fall. अच्छा, let us go for the provision. 67(2) क्या बोलता है? 67 search का provision बोलता है, and then seizure का provision बोलता है. Search and seizure. Seizure of what? Goods, books or documents. Correct? Goods, books, documents or things. So it is not goods. Cash is not goods. Right? It is not document. Document कोई बोलेगा, उसके ऊपर लिख सकते हैं कुछ. Is it book? It is not books. Can it be things? So Kanishka Mata में कोर्ट ने बोला कि it will fall within the purview of the term things, and therefore it can be seized. Then Honorable Kerala High Court came out with a judgment of Shabu George, wherein the Kerala High Court said that no, cash doesn't fall within the purview of seize of things, and therefore it cannot be seized. Plus it is not a stock in trade, so it cannot be seized. The matter went to the Honorable Supreme Court. Supreme Court has not intervened in the order of the Kerala High Court, therefore it has been upheld. So आज established law हो गया, settled law that cash cannot be seized under GST. If you face any such kind of issue, then please bear in mind Shabu George is the judgment which is recently passed by the Honorable Supreme Court in August 2023, wherein the Honorable Supreme Court has clearly said that cash cannot be seized. Right? चलिए, अब जब सीजर की बात कर रहे हैं तो एक और बात करते हैं. जब वो सर्च करने आपके पास आते हैं, 2 मिनट, जब आपके पास सर्च करने के लिए आते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हो या मैं एडवोकेट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हूँ या जो भी हो, हमारा बीपी बढ़ता है. यस और नो? Whosoever is there, whatever knowledge he has, including the ministers of the country, including the bureaucrats of the country, everybody has some nervousness. He is not in the right state of mind. Tell me yes or no? He cannot be in a right state of mind. सर आप एक नॉर्मल अपील की हियरिंग के लिए जाते हो ना, हम हाई कोर्ट में जाके खड़े होते हैं ना, तो हमारे पैर शिवर करते हैं. इवन एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम वी आर नॉट इन द राइट स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. It takes some time to get settled down. And during the course of search, generally what they have started doing is, or they were doing is, they were trying to recover the amount then and there. आप अभी पैसा भरो क्योंकि हमारे पास अरेस्ट का पावर है. तो आपका मेरे हिसाब से 6 करोड़ का लायबिलिटी वो किधर से कैलकुलेट किया, व्हाट वाज द मैकेनिज्म, नोबडी नोस. बट ही विल से एज पर मी व्हाटएवर परचेजेस यू हैव मेड इज बोगस. योर क्लाइंट्स आर नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट. सो देयरफॉर 6 crores is the credit which you have availed, and reverse this credit immediately right now with interest, otherwise I will arrest you. तो भाई कोई भी बिजनेसमैन अरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहेगा. सो they were recovering this amount. ऐसा हो रहा है? अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो आप लोग लकी हो. तो हम सबसे पहले गए थे, I will start with the first matter which again I will say luckily I have filed that matter, which is Bhumi Associates before Gujarat High Court, and we got an order which is an interim order wherein 4 important directions were given or suggestions were given to the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, and those suggestions were: during the course of search, no payment can be accepted even if it is voluntarily being paid by the taxpayer. After the search, only the payment can be accepted. If any officer coerces and recovers any amount, a disciplinary action will be taken against that person. This was an order in Bhumi Associates versus Union of India. I think February 2021 or March 2021. The judgment was pronounced by the Honorable Justice J.B. Padiwala. Now, after this judgment, they came out with a circular also, wherein they have tried to point out these points of the judgment. Now, you can note down a judgment which is a settled law now, which is Vallabh Textiles, Delhi High Court. Vallabh Textiles said that no recovery can be done during the course of search. So, आपके search के duration में अगर कोई भी recovery की बात करता है, even if it is reversal of input tax credit, then you can very well rely on Vallabh Textiles, Bhumi Associates and their own circular which is because of the Bhumi Associates. So, you can do that. Vallabh Textiles, you can rely on that. It will be followed by them in Maharashtra or not, I don't comment on that because Maharashtra, Bombay High Court has not pronounced any such order till date. We are arguing it, let's see. Now let us come to one another issue. A simple question posed to all of you. What is principle of natural justice? आपके पास ASMT आता है, आपके पास एक show cause आता है, because I am trying to be on that platform only, so that every practitioner who is practicing at that level, he is handling show cause notices. So you should be aware of this principle. हम हमेशा बिना सोचे समझे एक लाइन लिख देते हैं that the principle of natural justice was not followed. It is violative of principle of natural justice, therefore it should be, the order should not be sustained, it should be quashed. So what is principle of natural justice? I need one or two answers, only one or two. Not allowing? Not allowing personal hearing, okay. Anyone else? Haji? Sufficient time to reply, okay, chaliye. Actually, there are a lot of facets to this principle of natural justice, but let me ask another question. Issuance of a show cause notice, please be with me and try to understand this. You will get a very important principle. You will be very clear what is the principle of natural justice as per me. Again I am saying as per me. It may not be a settled law, but that is as per me. Merely issuance of a show cause notice complies with principles of natural justice. Yes or no? Issuance of a show cause notice complies with the principle of natural justice to be complied by the adjudicating authority. Yes or no? How many yes? Don't go into all those. We are not technically discussing this. This is merely a question of law. How many of us say no? Okay. जब भी ऐसा कोई इंस्टेंस होता है ना, मुझे एक स्पीकर याद आ जाता है, विमल जैन. He always give an example कि कभी भी हम जाएंगे किसी भी कॉन्फ्रेंस में, you keep on traveling like day and night everywhere. So there are these three species are always there. One who will say yes, which will be 10%, 15%. Another kind which will say no, again 10%, 15%. और बाकी के 70% will go into the majority. Because हमारे यहाँ जो भी लॉ बनता है वो मेजॉरिटी फॉलो होता है ना उसके अंदर. But unfortunately, let me be very clear and blunt. Those 70% people are going to kill their clients in GST practice. बुरा लगे तो ठीक है. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to share my knowledge or share my experience. Because you cannot be a person with no view. You will have to have your own view. It may be right, it may be wrong. But you take your view, sir. Unless you take a view, you will not be able to protect your client. View the law. It doesn't make any difference. आप गलत हो सकते हो, सही हो सकते हैं. सर कोर्ट डिसाइड्स करते हैं. कोर्ट के डिसीजंस भी गलत होते हैं. So where is the question of right and wrong? Question is of view. As a practitioner, we must have our view. Anyways, show cause notice issuance as per my limited understanding complies with the principle of natural justice. I have already said there are many facets. Sir बोल रहे थे detailed show cause notice है या नहीं. So cryptic show cause notice, Agarwal time is a judgment which is settled. Cryptic notice should not be sustained. An order if not in detail, if you have filed replies and he is simply एक line में आपको बोल दिया कि all replies are rejected, that is not an order. It is against principle of natural justice. I am not going to that. I am into the principle of GST which is written in the law. Now please try to understand and accept the provision of law. Sir, even GST law, even GST law deals with issuance of a show cause notice. Please read section 73 and 74. It simply says that the show cause notice must be issued at least 3 months prior in case of section 73, at least 6 months prior. It only says issuance. It doesn't deal with service, communication, nothing. If it is issued, sufficient. It complies with the requirement of principle of natural justice. If you choose not to reply, it is your choice. Not tomorrow, once the order comes against you, you cannot say that it is violative of principle of natural justice. Now, 1 minute सब लोग आप आ जाओ, क्योंकि जो जहाँ पे भी है, जिस भी दुनिया में, प्लीज आ जाइए 1 मिनट के लिए, क्योंकि ये आपको डे इन डे आउट काम लगेगा. You have not replied to a show cause notice. You cannot say that the receipt of a show cause notice which was not replied and then the order is passed is violative of principle of natural justice. No. But you can very well say that it is violative of section 75 subsection 4 of the CGST Act. What does section 75 subsection 4 provides? There are a lot of judgments on this. And the very famous judgment is of Jharkhand High Court, NKAS. NKAS. Just search for that. More than 200 judgments are there, which is following that particular judgment, wherein it is clearly said that it cannot be a show cause notice once issued, it complies with the principle of natural justice. But an authority in the law, such section 4, 5, 6 हम पढ़ते हैं, तो who are those authorities? Those authorities are appointed within the statutory power under law. Commissioners, deputy commissioners, assistant commissioners, inspectors, all those are the statutory officers bound by the statute. And the statute says, there is a provision of subsection 4 of section 75 which says that when asked for a personal hearing, what does it say? When asked for a personal hearing or when any adverse decision is contemplated, very important sir, आपके पास एक शो कॉज नोटिस आया, अपलोड हो गया, आप उसकी रिप्लाई फाइल नहीं कर पाए, but the officer is now going to take a decision which is against you or an adverse decision. He is going to appeal that whatever input tax credit you have availed needs to be reversed back or is illegal, wrongly availed. Then in that case, he is bound to give, now this is very very important sir, he is bound to give a personal hearing. आप अभी जितने भी DRC 01 उठा के देखेंगे उसके अंदर रहता है डेट ऑफ सबमिशन ऑफ रिप्लाई, डेट ऑफ पर्सनल हियरिंग नॉट एप्लीकेबल, nil. You just pick any DRC1, they will follow this. They will never give a date of personal hearing. So therefore, replying back to DRC1 and DRC06, you will say option of personal hearing yes or no. मान लिया गलती से हमने no पे क्लिक कर दिया, but if he is going to decide against you, an adverse decision is going to be there, or even if it is contemplated, because the law says adverse decision if contemplated, then he is bound to give. It is a mandatory liability, duty, responsibility of that particular adjudicating authority to give a personal hearing to you. So therefore, any order passed which has a adverse consequence on you by way of issuance of a show cause notice, proper show cause notice I would say, but without giving a personal hearing, is violative of section 75 subsection 4 of the Act and not principles of natural justice. Am I clear to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. एक और क्वेरी सर, रूल 142 राइट, सेक्शन 73 74 में जो शो कॉज नोटिसेस इशू होते हैं, दैट इज इन DRC 01 which is as per rule 142. Again a very important principle, and I am sure this is going to help you in practice. DRC 01 capital A, we all are aware, DRC 01 capital A is a pre-intimation show cause notice. Now, when this rule was introduced, the provision says it shall be issued in cases wherein the notice is under section 73 or 74. It shall be issued. Now the provision is it may be issued under section 73 or 74. So my query is, after amendment of this particular provision, DRC 01 capital A, which is now not shall, which is may. My query is to all of you, is he still bound, I am repeating, is he still bound to issue a show cause notice in DRC 01 capital A prior to DRC 1, or it is optional? Still it is mandatory or optional, please? Yes or no? Mandatory hai kitne log? How many of us believes that still DRC 01A is to be issued mandatorily? Okay. How many of us say no? Percentage बढ़ी है sir. It has reached to 60%. 30 जो था अभी 60 और 40 अभी भी है. So again I will have to go back to some other queries. Anyways, sir, चलिए एक और क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता हूँ, पता चलेगा शायद 100% पार्टिसिपेशन हो जाए. स्टैट्यूट बड़ा, एक्ट बड़ा या रूल? एक्ट बड़ा. अभी भी कुछ लोग तो मोबाइल में ही हैं. सॉरी टू से दिस. रूल्स बड़े. नाउ इट हैज रीच्ड टू 95%. थैंक यू सो मच. 5% अभी भी है. And those are going to be the best chartered accountants of this country. Anyways, मैं थोड़ा सा बोलता ऐसे ही हूँ. अभी कोर्ट की आदत पड़ गई है ना, तो we can speak bluntly like anything because हम जज से नहीं डरते. यही होगा शायद. विकास भाई नेक्स्ट टाइम नहीं बुलाएंगे और क्या होगा. चलिए, anyways, sir, most of us agree. 95% of the people who are sitting, learned people who are sitting in this hall agree that Act is supreme. Now go back to section 74. Section 74 says that you will be informed by the officer or on his own. That means on your own calculations. If you come to know that there is some short payment, non-payment, erroneous refund or wrongful availment or utilization of the input tax credit, or it is intimated by the officer, either of the options, you can very well pay that under subsection 5 and intimate to the officer in DRC 03. Am I correct? This is the provision. Sir, that provision will become redundant. This provision will become redundant if we say that DRC 01A is not mandatory today. Because the penalty which is minimum 15% will become 25% DRC 01 जैसे issue होगा. So that means 10% का loss. Is it the law making? This is what you are interpreting. Are you with me or not? Sir, 74 subsection 5 will become redundant because let us go back to the provision. Provision says that even if the intimation of the officer is there or you calculate on your own and pay the tax, you are subjected to pay tax, interest and 15% of the penalty. 15% of the penalty before issuance of show cause notice. तो आपको पता कैसे चलेगा सर? There is a short payment. Either on your own calculation और जब ऑडिट पे आएगा, सर्च पे आएगा तो वो बताएगा कि सर ये आपने पेमेंट नहीं किया, प्लीज पे दिस. If you agree and pay, only 15% is the penalty that is leviable. The moment we accept the argument that DRC 01 is now not mandatory, sir, we are dragging our client to pay 25% of the penalty minimum. Because then it says that once the show cause notice is issued, the minimum penalty will be 25%. Are you all with me or not? Therefore, even today DRC 01A capital A is mandatory specifically in section 74. I am not with section 73. 74 3 में अगर है तो वैसे भी penalty नहीं है, तो उसमें भले ही ना दे. But 74 के अंदर वो आपको अगर invoke कर रहा है 74 की powers, then he will have to issue a show cause notice. But prior to issuance of a show cause notice, he will have to issue a DRC 01 capital A. If it does not include or issue that to you, please write back to him that this is a statutory power which is or statutory duty which is entrusted on you, and therefore you will have to comply with this. Failing with this means that you have not followed a procedure which is to be followed by you in law, and therefore the order passed against that show cause notice will become null and void. Am I clear to this or not? सर आपके पास ये ऑर्डर्स भी आ चुके होंगे, शो कॉजेस भी आ चुके होंगे, अभी आप जाग जाओ. Now when you are filing appeal, raise this query that he has not followed the procedure. What I will do is, I will deliberate for 10-12 minutes more, and then we will have 15-20 minutes questions. Because I will have to leave, I will not take that risk. Because I have a very important duty to be interested, which is interested on me tomorrow. Tomorrow is my son's birthday, I cannot miss that. So I will have to reach there. So I will not take that risk. So I will try to sum up by 12:15 at the most. Now let us come to another very important and pertinent issue, जिससे पूरी इंडिया घबराई हुई है अभी. एक रिसेंट जजमेंट आया पटना हाईकोर्ट का अभी लास्ट वीक, वेरी रिसेंट, आस्था एंटरप्राइजेस. और आप मानो या नहीं मानो सर, आप लोगों से एक रिक्वेस्ट है, ये जो व्हाट्सएप पे एक्सपर्ट कमेंट्स होते हैं ना, स्टॉप रिलाइंग ऑन दोज कमेंट्स. बेयर एक्ट पढ़ो, बेयर रूल्स पढ़िए एंड ऑर्डर्स पढ़िए, नथिंग बियॉन्ड दैट. हमारे जैसे लोग काली कहानी सुनाते हैं सर, not to be followed, then not to rely, because we all are learned, we can learn what is written in that order. So therefore please read that order, don't refer, don't rely on the WhatsApp से 16(2)(c अपहेल्ड हो गया. 16(2)(c में जो भी हम अभी तक आर्ग्यूमेंट्स ले रहे थे, all has gone. Are we all aware what is 16(2)(c? हाँ या ना? अरे ना बोलो तो मैं बोलूंगा आपको, हाँ बोलोगे तो मैं आगे बोलूंगा. नहीं? अच्छा चलिए, हाँ 16(2)(c कितनों को पता है? हाँ अभी तो 1% ही है. कितनों को नहीं पता है 16(2)(c? अरे वाह, पार्टिसिपेशन इज 98% यार, वाह. चलिए, आई ट्राई टू फर्स्ट टच अपॉन दैट, बिकॉज अनलेस आई टेक यू टू दिस लेवल यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड अप्रिशिएट दिस व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू. सर अच्छा चलिए, एक और क्वेश्चन. इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट is your vested right or not? कितने लोग बोलते हैं yes? Okay. कितने लोग बोलते हैं no? Okay. मैं मेजोरिटी फॉलो नहीं करता. I follow what is right, and therefore input tax credit is not your vested right. It is your, or rather it will be said that, or it can be said that it is a benefit which is given to you under the statute Mahalakshmi Cotton, Bombay High Court, upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court. It says that it is only a benefit, it cannot be a vested right. Yes, when you avail rightfully an input tax credit, then it becomes a vested right. So 16(4) में we cannot argue that input tax credit is our vested right. No, it is a statutory right which needs to be availed as per the provision of the statute. And once you avail and it is not challenged, it is not alleged that it is wrongfully availed, it becomes a vested right. तब तक वो vested right नहीं. And Eicher Motors is the judgment which says that input tax credit or surveyed credit is the vested right. So, for availing an input tax credit, there is a provision which is section 16 of the Act. Section 16 subsection 2, it's a non-obstant clause which overrides subsection 1, wherein it is clearly said that आपको ये conditions satisfy करने पड़ेंगे. If either of these conditions are violated, the input tax credit becomes ineligible. You become ineligible to claim that input tax credit. Which are those conditions? 1, you must have received the goods or services. 2, it must be reflected in GSTR 2B, 16(2) clause AA, which is recently introduced. 3, you must have invoice. 4, the supplier of yours who has raised an invoice to you on which you have availed the input tax credit must have discharged his liability either from cash or credit. And then it says right credit, eligible credit. Therefore it is challenged before various courts. सर मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि मेरे सप्लायर ने कोई पेमेंट किया, उसका क्रेडिट राइट है या रॉन्ग है? अभी आपके पास डिपार्टमेंट क्या नोटिस भेज रहा है यही भेज रहा है कि आपने तो जिससे मिस्टर एक्स से गुड्स खरीदे वो है, बट मिस्टर एक्स का सप्लायर बोगस है, एंड देयरफॉर योर क्रेडिट इज चैलेंज्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस 16(2)(c. Because 16(2)(c) is that he should have made the payment. Supplier has made the payment. Your supplier has made the payment. But his credit, what he has availed is wrong. And therefore your credit is in question. And fifth is your recipient. That means I, who is availing the credit, must have filed the returns. So unless I satisfy these 5 conditions, I will not be eligible for input tax credit. So one of these conditions is payment by the supplier from his electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger, and that too the eligible input tax credit. इसलिए अब आपके पास नोटिस आ रहे हैं कि आपके सप्लायर का सप्लायर बोगस है, उसका सप्लायर बोगस है, दे आर गोइंग टू द चेंज, एंड इफ एनीवन इज फाउंड टू बी बोगस, द एंटायर क्रेडिट इज गेटिंग चैलेंज्ड. दैट इज 16(2)(c. नाउ क्लियर? यस. विकास भाई अभी भी नहीं. सर स्ट्रेस लेवल ऐसा होता है ना कि अगर हम ये ना करें तो मैनेज नहीं कर पाएंगे. चलिए, सो नाउ यू आर क्लियर अबाउट 16(2)(c. तो पटना हाई कोर्ट ने क्या बोला आस्था एंटरप्राइज में? अभी हम लोगों ने क्या सब जगह पूरी इंडिया में चैलेंज किया हुआ इसको, दिल्ली में ये, और लेट मी शेयर दिस इज बीइंग रिकॉर्डेड, बट इट इज रिकॉर्डेड इन द गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ऑल्सो. ऑनरेबल जस्टिस पार्टीवाला, एक्चुअली देयर इज अ लॉ which says that something which is sub judice, which is being argued, and specifically when you are arguing, you should not share that. But one instance has already been passed, and therefore I can share it. And this is not share for criticizing or for, this is merely for sharing an information. Sir, section 16(2)(c), when it was being argued in the Gujarat High Court, in one of the instances, then justice sitting there in the text bench has said that we are going to read it down. I will come to another question, reading down and striking down, what is the difference in that, but he said he is going to read it down, but then elevation, he went to the Supreme Court and nothing has happened, and entire India is struggling with this. But very recently a judgment has came, Astha Enterprises of Patna High Court, जिसके WhatsApp मतलब मेरे ख्याल से फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड में लाखों WhatsApp घूम गए होंगे, and I have received calls like anything कि सर अब तो गया. So all those cases which were being fought, that I have all the documents, I have made the payment, I am a bona fide purchaser, Arise India settled judgment Delhi High Court, which said that if you are a bona fide purchaser, when you have purchased, the existence was there, the receipt, the registration was valid, then nobody can challenge your credit. LGW Industries, Calcutta High Court, it's a single bench judgment. DY Bethel, then the action has to be taken against the supplier first and then come to recipient. All those were narrated there in that order in 16(2)(c), wherein the Honorable Patna High Court has said that if there is a liability which is encasted on a recipient to avail the benefit which is input tax credit, which is not a vested right, if he is not discharging his liability and his supplier is not paying the tax, he is ineligible to claim the input tax credit. Meaning thereby 16(2)(c) applicable hoga, your liability will be there. Huh?
But your trade is late by 1 hour. Sir, you have 15 minutes. Sir.
I have
15 minutes.
I have 15 minutes. I will be stopping in 15 minutes. I will be happy to stop. Ma'am said, Chairman ma'am said,
Next session.
15 minutes I will take, then we will have some question and answer.
Yes, yes.
See, unless it is a dialogue, it makes no sense, because वो मैं एक तरफ से बोलता जाऊँगा, it makes no sense. Now, please try to understand the concept and the order. Sir, order says 16(2)(c) payment if not made by the supplier, input tax credit is ineligible. What is wrong in that judgment? Answer me one question. If a law is made applicable by the parliamentary to you, executives, that means bureaucrats, and the taxpayers are bound to follow this or not? Tell me yes or no. Are bound to follow this. Exactly this is what Patna High Court said. That law is there in place. 16(2)(c) is a condition. If you are not satisfying this condition, it has to be followed, and therefore the input tax credit must be reversed back. What is the loss? What is the wrong in that? No. Sir, please understand. You have only two options. कानून बना या तो कानून को फॉलो करिए या उस कानून को चैलेंज करिए, तोड़िए ऑप्शन नहीं है. Am I clear? Not following a law is not an option. The only option is either to follow or challenge. In that particular case, Asta Enterprises, the virus of section 16(2)(c) was not challenged, sir. It was not challenged. They have not said that this is ultra virus. How can I determine whether the credit from which he is paying is a valid credit for him or not? How you can entrust that liability on me? It cannot be, sir. It cannot be. 16(2)(c) virus has not been challenged in Asta Enterprises. No panic. No WhatsApp, please. Read that order first. Please read that order. डिपार्टमेंट विल से आस्था एंटरप्राइज पटना हाई कोर्ट आ गया. अब जितनी भी हमने 16(2)(c) की नोटिस दी थी, वी विल बी डिस्चार्जिंग ऑल दोज नोटिसेस. हम सबके ऑर्डर पास कर देंगे. डोंट वरी, नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. Because there are two modes. Even if you challenge a law, the adjudication procedure has to be followed by you. You cannot ignore that unless it is stayed by the honorable court. अगर हाई कोर्ट आपको बोल देता है बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट कि नहीं, ये शोकॉज नोटिस 16(2)(c) का स्टे, then in that case he cannot proceed. But if he is not staying that showcause notice, then parallel proceedings will have to be there. You challenge in the writ court says that 16(2)(c) is an invalid law. It is a law of impossibility. And at the same time, whatever showcause notice you are receiving, you please reply back to the showcause notice. Face the appellate proceedings. You cannot ignore that. But जो अभी जो डर फैल गया है मार्केट में कि 16(2)(c) has been upheld by the Patna High Court, that is wrong. That is the point which I am raising, because the virus was not challenged. Am I clear to this? Okay. अब एक और इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है सर. Always remember, under rule 142, there is a duty of the officer to serve or to issue DRC 01 or 1A along with the show cause notice. Are you getting the point? Meaning thereby there are two documents which are supposed to be issued to you in a show cause notice, DRC 01 and a show cause notice, which is detailed show cause notice. It is not being followed by the officers. वो या तो क्या करते हैं, DRC 01 में ही डिटेल बना के दे देते हैं. It will not suffice. There has to be two notices. One DRC 01 which has to be electronically uploaded, which is a summary show cause notice, and one a detailed show cause notice which has to be physically served. And therefore section 169, otherwise 169 clause A, clause B का जरूरत कहाँ था कि in person आप दोगे. When everything is to be uploaded, where is the question of supplying it by hand or by post? Therefore the second 169, the detailed show cause notice or the order has to be supplied along with the summary show cause notice or summary order in DRC 07 or DRC 01, which has to be uploaded electronically. Am I clear to this? अगर ये नहीं follow हो रहा, please raise an objection, and 110% you are going to sustain that objection. Now I will try to sum up with 2-3 very important aspects, which as per me is very important. Rule 59 sub rule 6 has been amended now from 4th August. And why I was saying 88C and 88D are the draconian provisions, the reason is this. Say for example, वापस उसी example जाते हैं, 1 crore was the credit that you availed in 3B, 80 lakhs is being shown in GSTR 2B. There is a difference of 20 lakhs, you receive a notice in DRC 01 capital C that 20 lakhs has to be paid by you immediately or give an explanation. You have offered an explanation, or rather I would say 7 दिन में आपने देखा नहीं, आपने reply नहीं किया part B में. Sir, the draconian part of this rule is amendment of rule 59 sub rule 6, which says that if you fail to comply with 88C or 88D, you will not be allowed to file GSTR 1 of the subsequent month. आप subsequent month का DRC 1 नहीं भर, GSTR 1 नहीं भर पाएंगे. That is the draconian power which is given by rule 88D, that merely not replying to a show cause notice, to a DRC 01 notice and notice of difference, which is an intimation, if you are not able to reply back within 7 days and the window is closed, next month return you will not be able to collect. That is the biggest draconian provision that they have brought in. एक लास्ट पॉइंट और ले लेते हैं जिसमें कैंसिलेशन ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशंस की बात है. there is a rule which says that they can suspend your registration. तो अभी वो क्या करते हैं, जैसे ही एक शोकाज देते हैं because of any reasons, अगर if it is not a cryptic showcase notice but a detailed showcase notice, they immediately suspend your registration from the same very day. This is already challenged in Bombay High Court, and it has been argued by Justice Vineet Kothari, ex-Justice Vineet Kothari. It is already challenged in Gujarat also, but in Bombay High Court he is arguing this, wherein the stay has been granted. So any showcase notice which you receive when the suspension is there, please go with that particular order. I don't remember that name, I was sharing it. But Bombay High Court में अगर आप ढूंढेंगे Rule 22 का, so you will find it. The suspension of registration was stayed in that particular order, and therefore suspension was restored. The registration was restored. तो अगर कहीं पे भी suspension है, you can reply back to that officer that why you are suspending my registration. It is absolutely violating of principle of natural justice. You cannot suspend directly. You will have to give an opportunity. और जो शोकाज नोटिस आपने मुझे 1 महीने बाद का दिया है वो आप आज सुन लीजिए. Now cancellation of registration में सबसे important aspect क्या है, that they are cancelling because of any reason which is not sustainable. For example, they are saying that you have complied with section 39 and therefore showcase notice, meaning thereby a cryptic showcase notice. तो उसके लिए एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट है, बहुत सारे कोर्ट्स की जजमेंट है, बट मेरे ख्याल से जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट है दैट इज अग्रवाल डाइंग एंड प्रिंटिंग, गुजरात हाई कोर्ट. It has been followed by Punjab and Haryana, Delhi High Court, Bombay High Court, everywhere it has been followed across the country, which clearly says that registration is one of the most important aspects. And unless a person gets registration, he cannot conduct his business. So therefore, cancellation of registration is directly impacting his right to business, which is violative of Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution of India. So before cancelling any registration, not only the proper opportunity has to be given, but the proper order has to be passed with reasons and details. And not only uploading of that order is sufficient, but you will have to give an order in register or through registered post also, a detailed order. This is what is written in that particular judgment. So please refer that judgment, that will help you. Now last issue. Oasis Reality is a judgment of Bombay High Court, which has been followed by many High Courts. Odisha High Court, we are arguing Gujarat High Court also. आपकी कोई liability आ जाती है, order आ जाता है, and you are filing an appeal. You have a balance in electronic credit ledger. Now pre-deposit has to be paid. Question is, can you pay pre-deposit through the balance in electronic credit ledger? Yes? No? Percentage फिर कम हो गई है. That this is a signal that now I should stop. I'll stop. Just 2 minutes. There is no embargo in the law. There is no restriction, nothing. Law says if a liability is there, outward liability, it can be discharged subject to conditions as per section 49 of the law, either through electronic credit balance or through cash balance, subject to conditions. There is no condition when we refer the law कि आप प्री डिपॉजिट नहीं भर सकते. But the department has taken a view that whenever it comes to a question of pre deposit, it is not output liability, and since it is not output liability, it cannot be discharged by electronic credit ledger. And because of that, they were dismissing the petitions, they were dismissing the appeals, saying that pre deposit has not been paid, it has been wrongly paid by electronic credit ledger. So for that, sir, Oasis Reality is a judgment of Bombay High Court which has said that yes, it can be paid, and then thereafter they have also issued a circular which says that yes, pre deposit can also be paid from electronic credit ledger. So you can very well utilize your electronic credit ledger, not a wrongfully availed input tax credit, but an input tax credit which has not been challenged till date, which is a settled input tax credit. Then in that case, yes, you can utilize that as a pre-deposit. अगर आपने कोई गलत क्रेडिट से पेमेंट कर दिया तो आप दोनों तरफ से जाओगे, यहाँ भी शोकॉज नोटिस आएगा जो आपको क्रेडिट पेमेंट करना पड़ेगा, और वहाँ प्री डिपॉजिट आपका कैंसिल होकर अपील भी चला जाएगा. Can I pose the last question to all of you?
Yes, sir.
An appeal getting dismissed on limitation. An appeal getting dismissed on limitation is an order which is appealable before tribunal or not? आपने 3 महीने प्लस 1 मंथ, आपने 4 महीने तक नहीं अपील फाइल किया, 5th month में फाइल किया, and the appeal has been dismissed on limitation that it is filed beyond limitation by the first appellate authority. This order of dismissal, whether it can be appealed against before the tribunal or not.
Yes, on merit basis. Yes,
On
merit basis.
on merit basis. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Sir, Supreme Court has said, if a statute give power of condonation, if a statute writes that it can be condoned, let's say for 1 month, no one can condone it further. आप अपील भले ही फाइल करिए, it will be dismissed. It will not be entertained. So therefore, please bear in mind, and the best judgment is Glaxo India or Riddhi Siddhi, Gujarat High Court larger bench. Settled principle of law, no one can condone a delay further, which is beyond the period of statutory condonation power. 30 दिन का पावर दिया, 1 महीने का पावर दिया है, वो अगर आप मिस कर गए, so you have missed all the levels. Tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court, everywhere you are going to lose. Now the question is, if you lose on that ground, is a writ maintainable? I have already answered that, Glaxo India. Because आपने 4 महीने 5 महीने पहले ही लूज कर दिया, अब आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं बचा, तो अब आप आगे फंडामेंटल राइट को चैलेंज करते हैं 19(1)(g. Fundamental right can be challenged only when you follow the law correctly. फंडामेंटल राइट ऐसे नहीं कोई भी उठा के चैलेंज कर दोगे कभी भी. आपको टाइम दिया गया था 4 महीने का, आप तब तो आप सो रहे थे, यू आर मिस दैट लाइफ टाइम लेट. अब आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं बचा, तो नाउ यू आर रेजिंग अ बार, यू आर सेइंग 19(1)(g) का वायलेशन है, मेरा राइट टू बिजनेस इंपैक्ट हो रहा है, मेरा ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, सो देयरफॉर आई शुड बी गिवन एन अपॉर्चुनिटी अंडर आर्टिकल 226. नो, नॉट मेंटेनेबल. Within the purview, within the time limit, if you approach this appellate forum, then yes, you can be given that opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. And if any queries are there, most welcome. Yes, sir. I'm not able to.
Act 86 bill.
Rules cannot supersede any.
Yes, sir. Rule 86 bill was introduced in 1/1/21, which constitution.
99% 1%, right?
Yes, sir.
It has been challenged. गुजरात हाई कोर्ट में पेंडिंग है, एडमिट हो चुका है.
एडमिट हो चुका है, पर अभी तक आप एंड कंपनी का डिसीजन आया नहीं अभी तक. उसके बाद
इसलिए डिसीजन नहीं आया क्योंकि कोर्ट में चलते नहीं है मैटर सर, अनफॉर्चुनेटली.
उसका कोई सोल्यूशन सर क्या है? 1% की वजह से ब्लॉक हो रहा है पैसा, वहाँ वर्किंग कैपिटल पूरा.
दी ओनली ऑप्शन इज, मैंने क्या बोला सर, इधर यू फॉलो अ लॉ और यू चैलेंज द लॉ. दैट इज द ओनली ऑप्शन. यू चैलेंज दैट रूल, गेट अ स्टे फ्रॉम द कोर्ट, then you will be able to manage it. In our company we have done that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Regarding calculation of interest liability, we had some liability in the month of July and also ITC as per books of accounts, which had also come in our 2A.
It's coming in 2A.
That has also come in 2A on time. But we reported that sale and that ITC after 1 year. The department is calculating interest only on the liability portion without considering the ITC.
So if I am rightly understanding your query is that you have a liability, let's say 1 lakh rupees. You also have a credit of 1 lakh rupees. You have availed this credit after 1 year.
Within the
Right. Now you are saying कि मेरा जुलाई 2017 में वो क्रेडिट था, लेकिन मैंने अगस्त 2018 में लिया, बट वो क्रेडिट तो मेरा था जो 2A में जुलाई 2017 में दिख रहा था.
Yes.
तो you should not be charging the interest on the liability, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, now you will have to go with the logic or procedure, not with the law. Taking an input tax credit and availing an input tax credit are two different aspects. You have taken in books of accounts, but the question arises that if you have taken in books of accounts, what stops you to take in 3B? That means you have not availed properly in the books of accounts also. आप भूल गए होंगे, 1 साल के बाद आपको ध्यान आया जब ऑडिट हो रहा था, मार्च 2018 का जब बैलेंस शीट बन रहा था, तब आपको ध्यान आया कि यार ये 1 लाख रुपये का क्रेडिट मिस हो गया. सो certainly the department has lost, and interest is compensation for loss. You will be liable for interest.
But sir, if I had reported that sale and that ITC at the right time, I would have paid say 5,000 rupees interest. Just because that sale and ITC were reported late within the given time limit, and when there is no provision for revision of returns, a reporting of those figures in the subsequent period amounts to revising, and when you revise a particular return, it gets into the original, it gets in the shoes of the original return. Then when I do not have an opportunity to revise a return, then in that case it will be injustice. Just if I miss out on some figures, the department is not lost on that revenue. Whatever the interest should be calculated as per the books of accounts. Because the books of accounts are
Have
the
you
source
paid,
of the
have you paid 1 lakh rupees in July 2017 in my exam? When you have paid that?
So
That 1 lakh rupees you have missed.
If I consider that
You have missed your liability also, you have missed your ITC also, correct?
yes.
Now in this case, have you shown that in annual return? Annual return?
Yes, you have shown.
You have annual return, you have
Yes.
shown that. So, if I am not wrong, there was a notification which is 76 of 2018, if I am not wrong. Usme, there are 4 paragraphs which is added, instructions mein. It says that you can report your additional liability, but you cannot avail input tax credit in annual return. In that notification. So the only option left with you is challenge that notification. It has been challenged by me in one of the cases very recently. Because वहाँ पे 16(4) का उन्होंने issue किया था. I don't. Drishti Ignite. You can find out that judgment. Drishti Ignite, Gujarat High Court. Wherein the same issue is raised, wherein I have challenged that notification. Ki you are asking me that additional liability can be added, but you are denying the input tax credit, and you are asking for interest for that, which is not valid.
So, I have taken the ITC also in the 3B.
So whatever you have not done on time. You have not done on
I have
time.
done it within the given time. The time
What is the given time, sir?
September of the next year.
You have not followed time of supply. Please don't try to mislead it. Try to understand the law. Time of supply. What is time of supply? Time of supply, date on which your payment of liability arises. Section 12, Section 13 of the CGST Act. Your liability arised. You missed your liability. That doesn't mean that interest cannot be claimed. You will have to fight for this. जो आप मुझे बता रहे हैं, you will have to fight for this, but apparently the interest is liable. Apparently the interest is liable because time of supply is very important, and I already answered that input tax credit is not a vested right. It becomes a vested right when you avail that input tax credit within the 4 corners of the law and which is not challenged. So merely saying that I have missed on both the fronts will not help you. You will have to challenge this. 76 notification challenge करिए sir, आपको benefit मिलेगा. Otherwise you come to me, I will get you benefit.
So one more question. So
Please.
like in income tax, if we have to file an appeal, we can
Income
file
tax?
like in income tax. If
हाँ.
I have to file an appeal,
Appeal,
I
right.
can file the appeal without payment of any prepayment, without making a part payment. So my appeal becomes valid. The recovery process keeps on going. But in GST, it stops you from filing an appeal. Appeal is my fundamental right. If I am not, if
No.
I am not-
It's not your fundamental right. It's a statutory right.
statutory. Sorry. It's my statutory right, and if I do not have that.
I got your query. If you are not able to pay pre-deposit, the appeal cannot be filed in GST. Read a law. Read 107. 107 mandates this condition. आप 35 वेब में जाइए GST सर्विस टैक्स और एक्साइज में. सर्विस टैक्स और एक्साइज में you can file an appeal without pre-deposit also. And then they will say that pre-deposit has not been filed, so they will raise an objection. Then you will have to pay pre-deposit, right? But in GST they have mandated that the appeal can be filed along with pre-deposit. So again you will have to challenge that law or follow that law.
Hello, sir. Sir,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are saying about 16(4). I am just referring to judgment. Can you just please guide me whether we can quote this or not?
Please, sir.
One is a Philco, that is a
Philco Trade Center Trans.
Yes, trans.
Supreme
In
Court.
that case also, the ITC has been allowed after 5 years. At that time also, trans credit 27 December deadline was there.
Can I answer this?
Yes, please.
The
And
answer
second is RK Jewellers.
Let me answer this. The simple answer is Supreme Court said as a one-time measure because पूरी इंडिया में disputes आ रहे थे as a one-time measure. Let in 16(4) also Supreme Court say one-time measure it will go.
Second, sir, RK Jewellers. It says that if my registration got cancelled and it get revoked after some time, then 16(4) will not apply. I can claim the ITC. So, if defaulters are getting benefited, why not the regular dealer should get it?
That can certainly be referred, but that should be an order from the red court in your company also.
Okay, so we should fight. I am just asking you.
110%, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, one more.
GST only tells us one thing.
Yes.
Learn how to fight.
Okay, sir. One thing, sir, 88C and 88D. You are saying, but as you know, the section says that it must be exceeding the prescribed percentage and the amount.
Correct.
And it will be notified by the GST Council.
It will never be notified.
Yes, that is why. So 88CD will not be come.
It will certainly come. Because they are not notified, that means that any difference.
So DRC 01 will start now.
Now, let me draw an analogy and try to explain. Any rule, any changes, any rate, any amendment, anything which is done under GST is done by recommendation of the GST Council.
Yes.
That means 88D has also been after the recommendation of the Council.
Yes.
Now they have given a prerogative to the GST Council कि सर अगर आपको चाहिए तो आप बोल सकते हो कि 2 लाख से ऊपर 20% से ऊपर का डिफरेंस होगा तो ही लगना है. जब तक वो नहीं बोलता तब तक वो रूल तो एप्लीकेबल हो गया.
हम वही पूछ रहे हैं आपसे कि
हो गया तो एनी डिफरेंस 1 रुपए का डिफरेंस है
तो भी आ सकता है.
Yes, 100%.
So last 88B.
Yes sir.
What's your say? I have a credit balance at that time. If I would have reported liability, there will not be any tax payment.
Correct.
When Chhattisgarh High Court Chhattisgarh judgment is there.
Agree.
So whether we should also fight on that thing, if you would have a credit ledger at that time, so we should fight for that interest.
Again I will reiterate, either follow
or fight.
So certainly,
sir, we will fight. We will
Thank
fight.
you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, my last question.
Yes, please.
Sir, my last question. इधर ये 50th काउंसिल मीटिंग में जो आया ये रॉ बटन का, that is applicable for cooperative societies. It should be done as it is better. तो ये कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी के लिए है या जनरल पब्लिक को भी लागू?
कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी के लिए. अरे इससे मुझे एक चीज ध्यान आई यार. Is it sure ना? Training है.
Yes sir, training है. The topic is very relevant for Vidarbha sir.
एक see, हम उसमें ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. Reason being, it's a policy decision. So no court can intervene in a policy decision. That is a policy of the council. Certainly you can represent. इससे मेरे को एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ध्यान आई जो अभी चल रहा है सबसे ज़्यादा हॉट सब्जेक्ट है विच इज MIDC रीजोल्ड लैंड ट्रांसफर राइट्स. व्हेन यू आर हैविंग अ लेट्स से राइट ऑफ 99 इयर्स, 5 साल यूज करने के बाद आप उसको ट्रांसफर करते हो. द क्वेश्चन अराइजेस वेदर द टैक्स विल बी एप्लीकेबल ऑन दैट ट्रांसफर अमाउंट एंड इफ टैक्स इज एप्लीकेबल वेदर द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट इज अवेलेबल और नॉट. सो एक रिसेंटली एक AAR आया है गुजरात का विच सेज दैट क्रेडिट इज नॉट अलाउएबल बिकॉज 17(5)(c) में फॉल करेगा. So my only humble submission is because of the paucity of time I will not be going into detail of this. It has already been challenged. There is a notification 28 of 2019. 28 of 2019. Please refer that notification. Notification has inserted 4 provisos into entry 41 of 12/2017, which is an exemption notification. वो 4 प्रोविजंस आप पढ़ोगे तो उसमें क्लियर है कि सब्सिक्वेंट ट्रांसफर ऑफ लीजेस में भी एग्जेम्पशन विल बी एप्लीकेबल. प्लीज रेफर 28 of 2019. यस सर.
सर लास्ट सर एक सिर्फ लीगलिटी से समझना था, जैसे GST इज वन नेशन वन टैक्स.
नो हु सेड सर?
सर
ओनली 1% सेड इन द कंट्री.
सर ये समझना ऐसा था
इट मल्टीपल नेशंस वन टैक्स.
तो सर जैसा दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट का कोई जजमेंट आया है जो यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया के अगेंस्ट में है, तो अगर महाराष्ट्र सेंट्रल जो CGST वाले कहते हैं कि दैट लॉ इज गिवन बाय दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट, व्हाई इट इज
बता देता हूं.
तो उसका क्यों रीजन है वो समझना था.
पहले वो रिट ऑर्डर है. पेट में दिल्ली वाले के दुख रहा था तो महाराष्ट्र वाला के पेट में वो दवा नहीं ले सकता है. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, रेफरल वैल्यू है, प्रेसिडेंशियल नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है उसका बताता हूं. लेट्स से दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने एक ऑर्डर दिया, पूरी इंडिया में और किसी हाई कोर्ट का एडवर्स ऑर्डर या कॉन्ट्ररी ऑर्डर नहीं है. इट बिकम्स लॉ ऑफ द लैंड बट हैविंग नॉट अ प्रेसिडेंशियल वैल्यू बट अ रेफरल वैल्यू. अगर ये अपील का ऑर्डर होता इट वुड हैव बिकम अ प्रेसिडेंशियल ऑर्डर. सो दैट इज द रीजन ही मे नॉट फॉलो इट. बट आप कुछ कर सकते हो सर. आप ये कर, एक मिनट लेट मी आंसर प्लीज. आप ये कर सकते हो कि अगर इफ इज नॉट फॉलोइंग यू कैन सेंड हिम अ वेरी सिंपल वर्डेड लेटर सेइंग दैट सर यू आर बाउंड टू फॉलो an order of an honorable high court which has no contrary order at any of the other courts. Therefore if you fail to follow this it will lead to contempt of court. आप उसको ये लेटर भेज दीजिए, he will follow it. Right?
Sir.
One please.
Sir, recently you discussed about the suspension of the number, GST number. The number was retrospectively cancelled. ITC was received in GST and cancelled. Now the order has been passed to pay the taxes.
Correct.
to the recipient. Recipient, we have filed the appeal, but if we are ready to pay the tax and we pay, and subsequently the supplier pays the tax, because उनके against भी वो proceeding चल रही है to claim the tax, this liability. If he pays the tax, then can we have a refund for this?
So in that there is a procedure which is set, pay under protest. Whatever you have discharged as a liability of ITC reversal or cash payment, whatsoever you have done, you please write a letter to the officer that this we are paying just to buy peace of mind and under protest. If this supplier pays in future, we will be entitled to claim refund of that along with interest.
So
You can claim.
while payment it is done against the DRC3 and.
हाँ तो DRC3 में भी होता है ना, उसमें आप you can add a remark.
Okay, remark added.
Otherwise, draft a letter and send to the commissioner.
Okay.
You will be able to claim a refund when he pays.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sir, one last question, please. Sir, one of our client has received notice for reversal of ITC. Reason being he has not filed the 3B. After inquiring with the supplier, we came to know that that supplier has went into IBC and IBC order has issued for settlement. But now officer is denying that that order is applicable only for that supplier, not for you. So you cannot claim benefit of that particular supplier or order.
Yes, yes, you can take that. Till that, no high courts have decided on this issue, but every high court has stayed the proceedings of the recipient. So what you can do is you can approach the court, ask them, sir, my supplier has gone into the IBC or CIRP proceedings, so therefore now my reversal should not be allowed or should not be proceeded with. So high court will stay it. Otherwise किसी के पास power नहीं है. Only high court can do that. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. With this, we conclude the question and answer round. Due to paucity of time, we highly regret inconvenience caused if any of your queries stay unresolved. But do acknowledge with your applause, if you agree, jam-packed auditorium is not a prerequisite for a session that is rich in content takeaways. And if that's the case, our speaker, Poddar sir, we assure sir that his tiring efforts to travel for approx 20 hours is definitely going to be fruitful. Data, information, knowledge are three such dimensions of a CA's practice that is rampantly afloat across internet. However, wisdom, the fourth dimension, creates a whole world of difference. As a gesture of appreciation for enlightening dissemination and Arohan, I sincerely request Prakash Bhandari sir, past chairman, Akola branch, project coordinator for Arohan, to present a memento to our speaker. Request you all to offer resonating sound of applause, please.
I request CABA Makrapal sir, past chairman of Akola branch, to accord a memento to Regional Council member CA Shweta Jain ma'am as a token of heartfelt thanks for her august presence. I request CA Jalaj Baheti sir to accord a memento to Regional Council member CA Hridayesh Pankhania sir as a token of gratitude. I request CA Ramesh Chaudhary sir, past chairman of Akola branch, Govind Bidwai sir, chairman of Nanded branch, as a token of remembrance.
I request Seema Bharti, chairperson, Akola branch, and CA Vishnukant Soni sir, Amravati branch chairman, to present a memento to CA PC Bhandari sir for his heartfelt contributions in making this float. A huge round of applause for them, because it's only because of this kind efforts that we all are here today. Before we proceed further, we are duty bound to recognize the leap-on contribution made by our sponsor, SBI Life. We have a representative from them. I request CA Rajesh Chandak sir from Amravati to please appreciate the contribution made by SBI Life. I request Chandan Sharma sir to please come over the dais. In ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal than we give. Gratification is the smallest reward we can offer in humane capacity. To extend the joy of thankfulness, I request Regional Council Member Rudesh sir to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon everyone. Namaskar Atithigan and CA Mitranno. I, CA Rudesh Mankhania, feel privileged to present this formal vote of thanks. The best speaker is someone not who presents his ideas, but who engages the audience and solves their queries as well. And I think Avinash ji, you were mastering at that. Making sure right from the start that the audience engages, and till the end they wanted to ask more questions. I think with an amazing wit and the knowledge that you gave us, thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for Avinash ji for sharing his knowledge. Also let me thank the chairperson of the Amravati and Akola branch who hosted this regional conference jointly, and not to forget the WRC chairman Arpit Kabra as well. And thank you so much this audience for a lovely one. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you.
Hello. As we are about to conclude, please bear us for a few more minutes. We are sorry to inform that due to paucity of time, and as we all know, his train is scheduled, our speaker's train is scheduled. So I request everyone on the desk except Poddar sir to please be seated on the desk. And a big round of applause for Poddar sir for being here and sparing his valuable time. I request by few committees who have been toiling for more than 1 month.
Amongst the toiling 10 committees for the event, Sound and PPT committee members are behind the scenes to digitize the event. I humbly request dignitaries on the dais to felicitate such members for their impeccable support. Big or small, important or mundane, such cordial and smooth flow over podium throughout the conference is combined effort of hall and days committee members. I request dignitaries to felicitate the committee members for their timely executions.
I request committee members of hall and days committee to please stay near the podium. Now it's time to felicitate committee members of Hall and Days Committee. Welcoming registration committee members ensured every participant's journey began on a soul-pleasing note. I request the members of registration committee members to please climb up the stairs. In the world of events, MCs like us are the captains of the ship who help you walk through proceedings sequentially. In the world of events, MCs like us are the captains of the ship who help you walk through proceedings sequentially. I request MOC committee members to come one by one as I call upon the name. I request the dignitaries on the dais to felicitate committee member C. Apeksha Chaudhary, C. Snehal Mantri, C. Vishakha Mantri, C. Bhavika Jain, C. Komal Malani, C. Neeta Jawar from Amravati, C. Riya, and myself C. Radhika Patod. It's very odd, but let's go with the proceeding.
Round of applause. These are my beautiful butterflies who will always with me throughout my event.
I also request MCs from Amravati branch, if you are present in the auditorium, please walk fast. Gauri Kakraria ma'am, please come ahead.
Wait.
Done.
Let's move forward for our next session, which is panel discussion on capital markets. I call upon MCs CA Bhavika Jain and CA Komal Manani to take the charge. Thank you for being a wonderful audience.